He'd been chasing this moment since 2003. Camera raised. Perfect shot. Then Prince turned around, looked directly into the lens and said, "Delete it. Now." What happened next shocked the entire photography world. Whole Foods Market, West Hollywood, Los Angeles. Late afternoon, March 2015, 4:47 p.m., overcast, light drizzle. Pete Richardson, 37, freelance paparazzo, sat in his beat-up 2008 Honda CR-V, parked across the street. He'd been doing this for 12 years. Since 2003, Pete had tried to photograph Prince. Not for tabloid trash. Pete considered himself an artist photographer, but Prince was the one celebrity who'd never been captured candidly. Every other A-lister? Pete had them. Beyoncé buying coffee, DiCaprio at the beach, Rihanna grocery shopping. But Prince? 0 shots. Not one. Prince's security team was legendary. His lawyers ruthless. And Prince himself had a sixth sense for cameras. Pete's obsession had cost him everything. His marriage, 2009 divorce. You care more about Prince than me. $40,000 in legal fees. Sued twice by Prince's team for trespassing. His reputation. Other paparazzi called him Purple Pete as a joke, but today felt different. His source, Maria, a Whole Foods employee, had texted him 20 minutes ago. "He's here. Produce section, purple bandana. Alone. No security." Pete's heart was pounding. He checked his camera. Canon 5, D Mark IV, 300mm lens. Ready. He watched the entrance. 5:02 p.m. Prince exited. Black hoodie, hood down, dark jeans, purple bandana, sunglasses, reusable grocery bag, organic vegetables visible. He was alone. No bodyguards, no assistant. Just a man buying groceries. Pete's hands were shaking. This was it. This was the shot. Prince walked toward the parking lot. Pete exited his car, camera ready. He stayed 30 feet back. Professional distance, not aggressive. Prince reached his car, a modest black Tesla Model S, not flashy. He set the grocery bag down, reached for his keys. Pete raised the camera. Through. The viewfinder. Perfect composition. Prince in profile. Natural light. Candid moment. The shot that had eluded Pete for 12 years. He pressed the shutter. Click, click, click. 3 shots. Prince stopped. Didn't turn around. Just froze. Then, slowly, he turned his head. Looked directly at Pete's camera. Their eyes met through the lens. Pete's blood ran cold. Prince's expression, not angry, not surprised, just knowing, like he'd been waiting for this moment, too. Prince started walking toward Pete. Pete panicked. His instinct. Run! But his legs wouldn't move. Prince stopped 10 feet away. His voice quiet, calm. "How long you been following me?" Pete stammering. I'm not following you, I just—" "How long?" Pete swallowed. 12 years. Prince nodded slowly. Removed his sunglasses. His eyes tired but not hostile. 12 years. That's dedication. "I'm sorry. I know you don't like cameras, but I'm a professional. I wasn't trying to—" "Let me see." "What?" "The photos." "Show me." Pete, hands shaking, turned the camera around. Showed Prince the LCD screen. The 3 shots. Prince reaching for car keys. Candid, natural. Prince's profile. Artistic, shadowy. Prince looking directly at camera. Haunting. Intimate. Prince studied them. Didn't say anything for 10 seconds. Then, "You're good." Pete blinked. "What?" "These are good shots. Not invasive, not disrespectful. Just honest." Pete didn't know how to respond. Prince, "What's your name?" "Pete. Pete Richardson." "Pete, you've been chasing me for 12 years. You finally got your shot. Congratulations." Pete, confused. Are you not mad?" "I'm tired, Pete." "Not mad. Tired." Prince gestured to the camera. "Now, delete them." Pete's heart sank. "What? No, please, delete them, and I'll give you something better." Pete stared at him. "Better? What could possibly be better than an exclusive? Silence. You want photos of me? Real photos? Not stolen shots from 30 feet away? Prince pulled out his phone. Give me your number. Pete, in shock, recited it. Prince typed it in. Delete those 3 photos. Right now, in front of me. Pete looked at the camera, the shots he'd dreamed about for 12 years. His finger hovered over the delete button. He pressed it. Deleted. Prince nodded. Good. Now go home. Wait for my call. When? When I'm ready. Prince got in his car, drove away. Pete stood in the parking lot, shaking, wondering if he'd just made the biggest mistake of his life. 3 weeks later, April 2015, Pete's phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Pete, it's Prince. You free tomorrow? Pete almost dropped the phone. Yes, I'm free. Good. Be at Paisley Park, 10 a.m. Bring your camera. What am I shooting? Me, my life, my work. One day, full access, but there are rules. April 14th, 2015, Paisley Park Studios. Pete arrived. Security checked his ID, let him in. Inside, purple everywhere. Recording equipment. Gold records on walls. The iconic symbol. Prince met him in Studio A. Here are the rules. You can photograph anything, except 3 things. My bedroom, my vault, and my face during prayer. Everything else is fair game. Pete, stunned. Why are you doing this? Because you earned it. 12 years, Pete. Most people give up after 1. You didn't. What Pete photographed that day. Prince at the piano, composing, hands in motion, face concentrated. Prince in the sound booth, listening to playback, eyes closed, lost in music. Prince's guitar collection. 127 instruments, each labeled Prince teaching a young musician, 16-year-old prodigy from Minneapolis, Prince eating lunch, simple meal, rice, vegetables, tea, Prince's notebook, song lyrics, sketches, arrangements, 4:47 p.m., Pete's final shot, Prince at the Steinway grand piano, playing Purple Rain alone in an empty studio, natural light from the window, his silhouette against purple backlit walls, the most beautiful photograph Pete had ever taken, 5 p.m. Pete was leaving. Prince walked him to the door. So, you got your exclusive. Pete, emotional. I don't know how to thank you. You already did. You deleted those parking lot photos. But why did you make me delete them? They were good shots. They were stolen shots. These photos today, you were invited. There's a difference. Prince handed Pete an envelope. Don't open this until you get home. Pete's car. 30 minutes later, he opened the envelope. Inside, a contract. Exclusive photography rights to Prince's Paisley Park estate, valid until Prince's death or revocation, and a handwritten note. Pete, you can't publish these photos while I'm alive. That's the deal. But when I'm gone, you can release them. All of them. Sell them. Exhibit them. Whatever you want. Why? Because you respected the craft. You didn't ambush me at my kids' school. You didn't sell fake stories to tabloids. You just wanted to capture truth. That's art, Pete, not paparazzi. When I die, tell my story through these images. Show the world what Paisley Park really was. Not the myth, the work. Pete sat in his car, reading the note over and over, tears streaming down his face. He'd chased Prince for 12 years, and Prince had been watching the whole time, testing him, waiting to see if he was worthy. And in that Whole Foods parking lot, when Pete deleted those photos, he'd passed. Over the next year, Pete returned to Paisley Park 14 times. Each time, Prince let him document. Without restrictions, without posing, just work. Pete photographed Prince writing music at 3 a.m., arranging horns for a track, teaching a 17-year-old girl how to play bass. He photographed the mundane, Prince eating cereal, tuning a guitar, laughing at a joke, And he photographed the magic. Prince closing his eyes during playback, lost in sound, finding something only he could hear. Pete learned things the world never knew. Prince practiced scales every morning, 2 hours, no matter what. Prince kept a notebook by his bed, woke up at 2 a.m. with melodies, wrote them down in the dark. Prince never ate before recording, said food made him tired, made his voice sluggish. In March 2016, their last session together, Pete noticed Prince looked tired. "You okay?" "Yeah, just getting old. Happens to the best of us." They were walking through Paisley Park. Pete had his camera down, just talking. "Can I ask you something?" Pete said. "Yeah." "Why me? Why did you trust me with this?" Prince stopped walking, looked at him. "Because you deleted the photos, Pete. Anyone can take a picture, but it takes character to let it go." Pete nodded. "I almost didn't. I know. I saw your finger hesitate. That's why I knew you would. What if I hadn't? What if I'd kept them?" Prince smiled slightly. "Then we wouldn't be having this conversation, and the world would have 3 mediocre parking lot photos instead of a year of documentation." They walked in silence for a moment. "You changed my life," Pete said. "You know that, right? You changed yours. I just gave you an opportunity. You're the one who showed up 14 times. That's commitment." Prince put his hand on Pete's shoulder. "When I'm gone, tell my story right, not the celebrity version, the work version. Show them Paisley Park was a place where music got made, not a monument, a workshop. I will. Promise me." "I promise." That was the last time Pete saw Prince alive. April 21st, 2016. Pete was in his apartment when his phone buzzed. News alert. Breaking, music icon Prince dead at 57. He dropped the phone, sat on the floor, stared at nothing. He'd lost a friend, not just a subject, a friend. 2 weeks later, Pete looked at the photos. Over 3,000 images, a year of work. He remembered the note. "When I'm gone, you can release them." He could sell them. Millions of dollars. Every magazine would bid. Every museum would want them. But something stopped him. Prince had trusted him, had tested him in that parking lot, had given him access because he'd proven his character. Selling them for profit felt wrong. May 2016, Pete published the photo collection, Purple Work Ethic, Inside Paisley Park, 2015 to 2016. He released them online, free to view, high resolution, no watermarks. The response was immediate. Rolling Stone, the most intimate portrait of Prince ever captured. New York Times, Pete Richardson's photos reveal the man behind the legend. Vanity Fair. These images show Prince as he wanted to be seen, the Grammy Museum called. "We want to acquire the entire collection." Pete said no. "They're not for sale, but I'll license them to you, for free, on one condition." "What condition?" "The exhibit has to be free to the public. Anyone who wants to see Prince's work should be able to. No admission fees." The museum agreed. Over the next year, the photos traveled. Museums worldwide, always free admission. Pete used the licensing fees to create something Prince would have loved. The Prince Photography Trust, a non-profit. Its mission: fund photography scholarships for underprivileged kids, teach ethical celebrity photography workshops, exhibit Pete's Paisley Park photos for free globally. The first scholarship recipient, a 17-year-old girl from Minneapolis. She'd photographed her neighborhood during the George Floyd protests. Her photos showed pain and hope and truth, just like Pete had learned to do. 2020 60 Minutes. Interview. The interviewer sat across from Pete. "Why didn't you sell the photos? You could have made millions." Pete looked directly at the camera. "Prince gave me access because I respected him. If I sold those photos for profit, I'd be proving he was wrong about me. I'd rather honor his trust than cash a check." "What did Prince teach you?" Pete's eyes filled with tears. That the best art comes from permission, not theft. He could have sued me. He could have had security throw me out. Instead, he invited me in. That generosity changed my life. Do you have a favorite photo? Yeah, the last one I took. April 2016, Prince at the piano, playing Purple Rain alone. You can see his silhouette, the purple light behind him. That's how I want people to remember him. Not on stage for thousands, but in the work, creating. The interviewer nodded. What was the last thing he said to you? Pete smiled through tears. Tell my story right, and I'm trying, every day. 2024 Paisley Park Museum. Pete gave tours to photography students twice a month. 61 now, gray hair, reading glasses, still carried his Canon. Today's group, 20 students from art school. They stood in Studio A, where Pete had taken that final shot. A student raised her hand. Mr. Richardson, what was the most important thing Prince taught you? Pete walked to the piano, touched the keys gently. Prince taught me the difference between taking and receiving. For 12 years, I chased him, stalked him, tried to take his image. He turned to the students. But in that parking lot, when he made me delete those photos, he taught me that some things have to be given, not taken. Another student. But you published the photos after he died. I did, because he gave me permission. He wanted the world to see his work, not his celebrity. There's a difference. Pete pulled out his phone, showed them the handwritten note. The students leaned in, reading Prince's words. That's art, Pete, not paparazzi. The tour ended. One student stayed behind, a young woman, 20, nervous. Mr. Richardson, I'm a street photographer. My professor said it's exploitative. Is that wrong? Pete thought for a moment. Do they know you're photographing them? Sometimes, not always. Then ask. Every time. If they say no, respect it. That's the difference between exploitation and documentation. The young woman nodded. Thank you. What's your name? Sarah. Pete pulled out a business card. Email me. I'll connect you with the Photography Trust. We have grants for ethical projects. Sarah's eyes went wide. Really? Really. Prince taught me to pass it on. Now I'm teaching you. Sarah left. Pete stood alone in Studio A. The piano sat silent, but he could still hear it, Prince's fingers on the keys, Purple Rain filling the space. Pete pulled out his camera, Canon 5 D Mark IV, the same one from 2015. He looked at the LCD screen, that silhouette, that purple light, that perfect moment. Prince at work. Pete whispered to the empty room, I told your story right, just like I promised. The piano stayed silent, but somehow Pete felt like Prince heard him. Somewhere in the purple light, in the work, in the legacy, Prince knew, and that was enough.